Today, I will be talking about holistic healing and happiness with Wendy Meyers, naturopathic doctor, functional diagnostic nutritionist, and detox expert from Los Angeles, USA. Hello, Wendy, and very welcome to our Open to Happiness podcast.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm very interested in the work that you're doing. I've watched some of your interviews. I've been following your work a little bit. So it's all very exciting. Shall we start by finding out a little bit about you? Who are you and how was your journey in life so far?
Yeah, so I'm a naturopathic doctor. I live in Mexico, currently in the Mexican Riviera, and used to live in Los Angeles. And essentially, had my own health issues when I was 37 and had lived my whole life very, very healthy, amazing diet, amazing food, and supplements, and always have worked out, always prioritized sleep. And I just had reached a point where I couldn't lose weight. I was just not sleeping. I was having trouble with remembering things, with my memory. I was having bouts of anger. There's just a lot of things going on with me that I just didn't recognize myself anymore. I just was not happy, even though I had every reason to be. And I knew something was wrong. And very quickly in my health journey, I fortunately discovered detoxification. And for me, I'd read about mercury or lead, and I just didn't think that it applied to me because I was so healthy, right? And I found, to the contrary, that I was actually very toxic in heavy metals. I had very high metal levels, and it was a big aha moment for me. And I just learned everything I could. And then I decided to start a website about heavy metals and detoxification. And that's when I started MyersDetox.com. And my life improved dramatically. I fixed a lot of little health issues, that just getting canker sores and lip peeling and brittle nails and just lots of other little stupid things you don't think about, all improved. And heavy metal detoxification is very anti-aging, and my brain works better than ever. I feel happy. I wake up happy. I have lots of energy. I'm 51 now, and I feel great. And it's for me and for the people that I am doing this for, people that are chronically fatigued, have complex chronic illness. I'm trying to really get the word out to people that you have to add detoxification to your health regimen, even if you don't have a diagnosis or health issues, because at some point after accumulating these toxins for decades, people do reach a tipping point where they can start having health issues, or where it'll affect their mood, it'll affect their neurotransmitter production, their serotonin production, their energy production, their hormone production, their thyroid functioning, and all of these things can contribute to not feeling very happy. Not to mention having a health diagnosis or not being able to function because of your health. And so heavy metals in the research play a huge, huge role in contribution to people developing a lot of the complex chronic illness they have today, like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and other health issues. So that's why I'm very passionate about what I do, and trying to educate people about their need to do daily detoxification.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for this intro. Can we find out first, how do we get these heavy metals in the body? And then maybe speak a little bit about how do we actually detoxify?
Yes. So we acquire heavy metals and other chemicals in the air, food, and water. So air pollution is the main way that we acquire them. So obviously, even if you're living a super healthy lifestyle, doing everything correctly, you're breathing air that you can't avoid. Ideally, it's great to have an air filter in your home, but you can't enjoy that when you're walking around outside. And we get it in the water, even if you're drinking perfectly filtered water, which most people are not drinking correctly filtered water. You're getting it in the shower water every day and absorbing several liters of water through your skin that are typically not purified at all. They have medications, hormones, medications that have been flushed down the toilet, antidepressants, lots of chemicals, pesticides, lots of nasty stuff in there. And then in the food, even organic food has heavy metals. It doesn't have pesticides. It doesn't have chemicals or chemical fertilizers, but it does have heavy metals in it still. So it's impossible to eat food that doesn't have some amount of heavy metals in them. So it sounds very bleak, and then we have all the personal care products and all the other things that people put on their bodies that have all kinds of chemicals. So there's a lot that you can do to detox your body, to help your body, facilitate your body to remove these toxins through nutrition and through targeted supplements and through detox methods like infrared saunas.
Yeah, can we go into details and find out from you what's been your learning in time? How do you actually detoxify?
Yeah, so for detoxification, I encourage people to eat the right diet. So there's 5 foods. The top 5 detox foods are broccoli sprouts, very rich in sulforaphane to help your liver, break down toxins, and egg yolks, and not, regular eggs. Those are full of arsenic. You have to eat organic and pasture-raised eggs, egg yolks. And some people are allergic to eggs, but they're allergic to the protein in the whites of the eggs. And most people are okay with the egg yolks, just the egg yolks themselves. And then onions, garlic, or shallots, and ginger. So those are the top detox foods. You want to add a lot to your diet, and they all have lots of sulfur in them. Ginger is very anti-inflammatory, etc. And then you want to take supplements like binders are super important. Binders will absorb toxins like a sponge, like citrus pectins, like activated charcoal, like zeolites, things of that nature. There's other ones I can name. And then there's supplements, namely minerals. Minerals push out and displace heavy metals from the body. And you need minerals so your detox processes and thousands of other processes work in your body. And so a lot of people are taking minerals in their multivitamin, but it's not the right form of minerals and it's not nearly enough. People need a lot of minerals, and it really should be the main focus of people's supplement regimen. But people get marketed different things like antioxidants and smoothie additives and protein powders and things that really are not as important or necessary. You really need to focus on minerals first and foremost, and which is nice because they usually tend to be the least expensive minerals as well. But you're nervous, you're going to be anxious, and you're going to have trouble sleeping, and your nervous system is going to be stressed if you don't have minerals. When you take lots of minerals, it just kind of calms down that nervous system, calms down anxiety, and facilitates better sleep, among many, many other benefits. And then also you can take targeted supplements for detoxification that will bind on to metals and chemicals and remove them, like silicas, like, OSA, which is orthosilicic acid, like chlorellas are nice too, cilantro extract. And there's, NAC, N-acetylcysteine is really important. There's just lots of different supplements out there that will bind on to heavy metals. Alpha lipoic acid is great as well. And the liver support herbs are really, really nice, like milk thistle. And so that's some of the things that you can do as far as like protocols. Infrared saunas are really key. In some of the cultures around the world, like in Finland, they did a 25-year study that showed that people that use saunas 5 days a week had a 40% reduction in mortality from all causes. And so that is because of the detox effects. There's many health benefits of infrared saunas, but really it's facilitating the body sweating so it can excrete toxins, fat-soluble toxins in that sweat. And when you use an infrared sauna, I think the results would be even more compelling because you release a lot more toxins in your sweat. When your sweat's more productive when you're using an infrared sauna versus just a typical Swedish or Finnish hot sauna, which it's hard to stay in those for very long. They're too hot. Whereas an infrared sauna, you can stay in it much less time. And then there are there's ionic foot baths, which are fantastic and they're easy to do. Anyone can do these. You want a medical grade one, not the cheap ones off Amazon, because most people need to do about 400 hours of foot baths. And if you get a week one off Amazon, you might have to do 2,000 hours of that. And people just are not going to do that. They're not going to invest that amount of time, and they're just going to chalk it up. Oh, this doesn't work. When you just have to, you get what you pay for. You need a medical grade one, like an ion cleanse that you can get at amajordifference.com. That's the only one that I recommend, and that's what I use. And so those are amazing for detoxing, especially if like you're ill or you're heat intolerant or you have a health condition where you can't get hot, or for young children who are, saunas are contraindicated for. Lots of amazing results with autistic children, dramatic reduction of symptoms using ionic foot baths, because they excrete toxins, some of the water, but it's mostly the additional excretion of toxins in the urine and the feces 2 to 3 days following the ionic foot bath. So I love those. They're super easy to use. You just stick your feet in water, press a button. And so most people can manage to do that. And then I love coffee enemas. Those are really amazing way to mechanically detox and purge the liver. Not a lot of fans out there when they first hear this. Not a lot of people running out wanting to try these, but I'm telling you, they're one of the best things you can do for your liver, because a lot of people don't realize their livers aren't working that well, because there's 100 million people in the United States alone that have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, diagnosed or undiagnosed. That is a very, very scary proposition. And that means your liver is not working very well. It's compromised, and therefore your detox ability is compromised. So a great way to mechanically improve the liver's function, infuse it with lots of blood and like flushing it with a coffee enemas, you facilitate its ability to detox. And it's very, very important if you have any chronic health condition. Coffee enemas, I can't recommend them enough.
It sounds all very, very, very appealing. The question is, how do we do it as without support? Is this something that people can actually do themselves, research it a little bit, or they need a support of a specialist to guide them into this process?
Yeah, so there's lots of things people can do without a practitioner, but I find though, if you have a complex chronic illness or chronic fatigue, you're going to need support. Your body's ability to detox is compromised. That's why you're sick, because the stuff accumulates and accumulates and accumulates. It can't get out, and it compromises your body systems, and that is why you're not well. It's maybe, your body has just accumulated so much, it's compromised your ability to detox, or you have genetics that are not favorable to detoxification. And so that is part of the problem. And so that person's going to need a lot more support than someone who has generally a decent health status at this time. But even then, you're not, as a layperson, going to have that 360-degree view of what it is that you need. Like, what do you need to supplement with? What minerals do you need? What metals do you have? Different substances remove different metals. And people have a lot of questions. So it really makes sense to do testing and to work with a practitioner who can help guide you maybe for the first year or so. And then you have all the knowledge you need to use for the rest of your life to detox your body. And so you don't need practitioner support forever, but why try to piecemeal it and suffer detox symptoms or some people will try detoxes and not feel well, and they'll be like, nope, don't want to do that again, but they're just not doing it correctly. They're missing some key element that can make their detox very comfortable and very doable. So I really highly recommend people just kind of save their money on buying all kinds of random stuff. It's better to do like a sniper approach to detox versus a shotgun approach, and just throwing all kinds of things at it and hope that it works. But there's a lot of things you can do on your own. But if you really want to get serious, work with a detox practitioner for like a year, and just learn everything you got to learn. And then you're good. You know what you need to do after that.
Well, it makes sense. What is mitochondria detox now?
Yes. Yeah. So I had focused a lot of my research on fatigue and heavy metals that cause fatigue, because that's the number one complaint I had. And that's the number one complaint most people have, that they just want more energy, no matter what their health status or health condition or diagnosis. And so I found this very interesting and started researching different metals like arsenic and aluminum and tin and thallium and cesium which some of those you might not have heard of before. But these will poison enzymes that transport nutrients into your mitochondria, which make your body's energy. And so there's a specific form of silica called OSA, orthosilicic acid, that's in my Ageless AF supplement, that will grab onto these metals and remove them. And so it's removing a roadblock to energy production, because these metals go into the mechanics, the mechanical parts of your mitochondria, and really just dramatically reduce your body's ability to produce energy. And certainly nutrients in your diet is only one way your mitochondria produce energy. You need oxygen for your mitochondria. You need the sun to charge up the biophotons in your mitochondria. And you also feed energy to your body energetically. EMF, like Wi-Fi, interferes in your body's energy field. That will interfere and reduce energy production, because it's scrambling all of the information in your body's energy field, or interfering in it, interfering in your brain waves and your heart waves and your body's communication highways. So, bad information will reduce energy production. Correct operating instructions will improve the energetic energy production, or, the energy production that can be done in your body's energy field. And so there's 4 different ways that the mitochondria produce energy.
Okay. I heard you talking about information medicine in one of your previous interviews. Would you like to expand a little bit on that and help us understand how is this connected with everything else that you spoke about so far?
With bioenergetics?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So with bioenergetics, we have a body field. So, and this is proven, it's about 10 feet in diameter, 3 meters in diameter around our heart. Our heart emanates this amazing, powerful energy field, and it sends information to your body, and it communicates this way, sends information on energy waves in the same way that our cell phones get information on our Wi-Fi signals. It's the little data packets of energy frequencies. Our body works the same way, and so we need to be aware of this, and also aware of the fact of things that interfere in our energy, or our body's energy field, which is Wi-Fi, computers, internet, radar, just all the different forms of, these telecommunications happening all around our body, and how that interferes in our body's energy field and communication. And also be aware of the fact that our body's energy field instructs the physical body. The physical body takes instruction from the body's energy field. So if you identify energetic blocks, if you feed correct operating instructions to the body, which can be done with different devices and liquids that have frequencies imprinted on them, you can dramatically improve the physical functioning of your body. And it's very easy and elegant, and it's much easier to work in the body's energy field. And at Meyers Detox, we use a software program called Ness Health, and it's a simple scan that you do, and it checks on 800 different data points to look at your energetic blocks and your chakras and your meridians, your emotional trauma that you have, which has a dramatic impact on your health. Looks at just all kinds of different things, all your heavy metals, toxins, food sensitivities, how well you're converting energy from the sun, from your fat, things of that nature. It's just amazing the information you get in the scan. And then there's a protocol you can follow that feeds correct operating instructions to your body. And so phenomenal results with this program, because I think there's a lot of people out there that have, and I was at this point as well, where I'd kind of done everything physically for my body. I'd done the diet, supplements, stress reduction, sleep, exercise. Then I did the detox. I'd done the detox for, 6 or 7 years. And then I was like, okay, what is next? And then I happened to meet the owner of this company, Harry Massey, that owns Ness Health, N-E-S Health, and started working with the software, and really just blown away by my own personal results and personal progress with it. And we put about 5,000 people through this program at this point. And, just I can't speak highly enough about it. So, and it's one of those things also, emotional trauma is a big component of the software, identifying it and releasing it. And that's going to be a big impediment to happiness, because you can't look yourself in the mirror and smile and say, I love you enough times if you have childhood development trauma, or you've had traumatic events in your life that you just are still in your energy field, even though mentally you feel like maybe you've gotten over them, or you work through it in therapy, or whatever you may have done to, process certain things that have happened to you in your life. But I assure you, most people have some form of emotional trauma that's still in their energy field, creating energetic blocks, stressing you out, depressing your vagus nerve function, which is, causing lots of other physical problems in your body. And so you have to address your emotional trauma if you want to be happy. And Nest Health is one of the easiest and simplest and straightforward protocols to accomplish that. And that's why people get such great results with it. When and especially like if you're out there and you're looking to take your health and your mental health and happiness to the next level, working in the bioenergetic realm and using bioenergetics and the research behind it to release emotional trauma is really, I can't recommend it highly enough.
This sounds really amazing, and I'm quite intrigued now because obviously I work a lot with trauma in my therapy work. But talking about emotional trauma from the perspective of bioenergy is very interesting. Can you help me understand maybe how does this work? Is there a particular machine that you're connecting the people with? How do we actually release trauma from this energetic space? How does it work?
Yeah, so you do a scan. You can do a voice scan or a scan on like a little mouse. It kind of almost looks like this, the little scanner. You put your hand on
Okay.
it, or you can just do it with a voice scan, and because that's just picking up the frequencies that it's testing, and then the software will recommend some different infoceuticals for you. Infoceuticals are liquid saltwater remedies that have information imprinted on them, and the software will tell you the top 5 or 6 that are recommended for you based on your skin. And there's about 80 of the infoceuticals. Originally they had developed about 2,000 different ones, but
Really?
they narrowed it down to about 80 just to simplify it, because it's
Yeah.
just too overwhelming. And then there's also a device called a My Health device, definitely more of an investment. It's a little over $4,000. But it's a device I use every day, and I've worked personally with Dr. Mercola. I work with Ben Greenfield personally to help them kind of navigate with detoxification and with Nest Health. Dr. Mercola even went to a Nest Health training with me and took his personal physician, Dr. Lee Cowden, who's a genius, and just he wanted to learn more about it. And so he's got 3 My Healths, and this guy can do anything on the planet that he wants to. So the My Healths are incredibly effective. They're like a little doctor in your pocket. And again, you do a scan, you're recommended about 6 functions on the My Health that you need at the time of that scan. And that feeds information on the energy waves to your body. And I just use it every day. There's a sleep mode, there's a fat burning mode, there's a anti-aging beauty mode. There's about 200 different functions on it. I eat too big a meal and I don't feel good, I'll use digestion. There's settings for hormones. I mean, there's just like all kinds of stuff you can do. Whenever I start to feel a little bit sick, there's a cold flu immunity. There's another immune setting that I'll use to boost my immunity, and just a lot of different modalities that you can use it for, a lot of different functions. And so that's basically how you do it. And you release emotional trauma depending on different infoceuticals, or the My Health functions will release emotional trauma. And so it's just traumas are frequencies that lie in your energy field, and you can't talk your way out of them. Most of them, you're not consciously aware of them to even speak about them. So that's why they need to be kind of tested, a frequency test to figure out which ones you have. And then you use different energies or frequencies to release the emotional traumas. And so that's how it works. And a lot of research behind this. I actually have an emotional detox program It's emo-detox.com, where you can take a free webinar to learn more about it. And I have, just exhaustive research into like the conventional medical research on emotional trauma and how that's released. And so again, a lot of people have done everything physically for their health, or they've done detoxification. The next level is that emotional trauma route, because we all have it. And there's even research by Kaiser Permanente with 28,000 participants that showed that people who have chronic health issues usually have 4 or more adverse childhood events. And we see, double the risk of smoking, double the risk of, or like
Addiction.
400% increase in antidepressant use, and 12 times the suicide risk if they've had 4 or more adverse childhood events. It just goes on and on and on, with 3 times the amount of lung cancers and lung health issues, and double the amount of autoimmune issues, 1.6 times heart disease. And you can just go down the row every health condition, and there's a statistic that shows that emotional trauma is contributing to that condition.
Now you're using machines to help us rebalance our energies and move on different frequencies, vibrate somewhere different. Can this be done, in your opinion, through conscious awareness, through just working on yourself and becoming more aware of what's going on within yourself, within your body, mind, and soul, within your energetic field? What's been
No,
your learning around
no,
that?
I don't think so, because there's something to be said, of course, for the power of belief and the biology of belief, like Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about. And certainly, if you believe you're going to get better, you will. If you don't believe you're going to get better, you're also correct. So your beliefs have a huge impact on your ability to get better. However, when people have a lot of adverse childhood events, they have a lot of emotional trauma, childhood development trauma, their beliefs are going to be very skewed. So they're going to have self-worth issues, self-hatred. They're typically going to have, survival fear issues. They're going to have other things they're just not consciously aware of that's going to stand in the way of being able to manifest perfect physical health, as it, trying to do it themselves. So that's definitely a part of it. But you can tell yourself, I'm going to get better, I'm going to heal, I'm going to get better. But on a subatomic level or whatever, if you don't actually believe that, that's not going to happen. And so I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done, as far as using software, using the tools, the technology that we have to identify exactly what the issue is, and use specific targeted frequencies to release those emotional traumas. That's really where people want to begin. And at some point, when you've done enough of that work, then, using the biology of belief and the law of attraction, that's all, that's going to work much, much better. But yeah, I don't think it's a DIY project.
Right. Good. So what is your work about? What is it that you really do yourself? Do you cover all of these that you mentioned so far? And how is your program different to whatever is out there? I don't know what other people do in the same field.
Yeah, so I focus a lot on heavy metal detoxification, and that's super, super important. But where I differentiate myself is, really using that bioenergetic component, using this bioenergetic software, and focusing on emotional trauma as well. Because it's not just always one thing, but I use a lot of different modalities that are, people are not going to get, options are not going to get at their conventional medical doctor or even their functional medical doctor. And many times people come to us and they can't detox. They're too sick. They can't even touch minerals, or they can't touch any detox supplements, or they can't even eat food. They can barely eat 5 foods. So what do you do with these people? So they have to start with the bioenergetic route, and they have to heal their immune system and heal their gut, and do different things and build a foundation before they're even able to do any kind of like detoxification. Even though they know they need to do it, they just can't. And so for me, using this bioenergetic software, and I recommend other bioenergetic means as well. I use a Rife device, which is kind of what you see behind me right here. I use a Rife device daily, and there's other technologies that I research and look into. And but for me, I'm trying to give people options that they're not going to get otherwise, and in answers and things that really, really do work and work quickly. Because I'm like everyone else, I want quick results. I don't want to take a bunch of pills all the time, and I want to do something. I want easy things to do, easy things that work really, really well. I think that's what I provide on MyersDetox.com.
So you're helping people to detox their bodies and clear a little bit, cleanse the energy field. What about the mental space? Are you
Yes. Yeah.
tackling the mental space as well?
Well, yeah. Well, all of this combines, because heavy metals impact your neurotransmitter production, your brain cognition, your mood, and things like that. So do chemicals. Chemicals dramatically impact your hormones, which is going to affect your mood and your mental space. So detoxing will help to rebalance all of those symptoms. Not going to happen overnight. Detoxing takes at least a couple of years, and then it needs to become a lifestyle, so that you're maintaining your clean, healthy body, because we're exposed every day to toxins. So there's no quick fix when it comes to detox or energy medicine or anything of that nature. Nothing is going to work in a few months or even 6 months. You may have improvement in that time frame, but to really see progress, you have to stick to a program like a detox program or a Nest Health bioenergetic program, or using Rife or what have you. So as far as, using bioenergetics, it has a huge impact on, identifying your emotional trauma and releasing it. And you start just releasing all this baggage, stuff that you didn't even know you had. And so you get lighter and lighter and lighter and happier, and, just wake up feeling really, really good and clear and energetic and hopeful, optimistic as well, because you just don't have this stuff like weighing you down and really creating a lot of inefficiencies in your body that you weren't even really aware of. And then, of course, with my emotional detox program, that is utilizing bioenergetics, but also psychology, mindset, and physical body improvements. Because if you have anxiety, or you have depression, or you have other psychological issues going on, it's a three-pronged approach. So you could do all the bioenergetic stuff in the world, and you could work on your psychology and mindset and identify all of your emotional trauma and what mommy and daddy did to me and all this stuff, and use different techniques to help stop ruminating thoughts or what have you. But if your body, your physical body, if you have blood sugar control issues, you're going to have anxiety. If you have circadian rhythm issues, you're going to have that's going to impact your mood. So you have to eat a correct diet and have proper sleep, circadian rhythm management, and other things. So you can't ignore your physical health. And so it's a three-pronged approach. If you want to be mentally healthy and have mental stability and joy and happy health and optimism and love, and just exude love, which is the ultimate goal, you have to address these three things: the bioenergetic component, the psychological mindset component, and your physical body. And that's what I talk about in my emotional detox program, is addressing those three components successfully.
I absolutely love your holistic perspective, Wendy. I think it's absolutely amazing. Now, the question is this accessible to everyone or just some people?
No, of course it's accessible to everyone. Like my emotional detox program is like $297. It really should be priced at probably a couple $1,000s. It's a 30-hour program. It's incredibly extensive. But no, doing Nest Health, you can do that for about, less than a doctor's appointment for most people. You can, because you do a scan every month and get the infoceuticals, you can do that for less than $200 a month. These are not expensive things. I mean, that's what giving up your cigarettes or your coffee, or, we all make our choices in life.
Absolutely.
And so all of these things are accessible to to anyone on any type of budget. Investing in things like infrared saunas or ionic foot baths, those are a little bit more expensive, obviously, but you just have to kind of start with what you can afford and what you think is most important to you, or what you think you need to work on. And so I think if it were me starting over, I'd start on the bioenergetic component first, because that's going to address a lot of stuff, a lot of symptoms, mental, physical, downstream, by addressing these, energetic blocks, releasing emotional trauma, getting your body working better, reducing stress, improving energy flow and production in your body. And it's really very, very simple to do. And it's not expensive to do either. And you get the biggest bang for your buck, and you can do it anywhere in the world. You can do this anywhere in the world. We have clients in North Korea, even, we have clients in Egypt, we have clients all over the place. And so that's, for me, where I recommend that people start.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, towards the end, Wendy, what are your best 3 teachings to live a happy and fulfilling life?
Yeah, so I think it's really important to have a relationship with God. And for me, I sit every morning and with Source, and I sit down and go through everything that I want to manifest in my life, or what I believe has already happened in my life. And so when I have that and I meditate every morning, and for me, that has completely changed my life. And it's something I had a lot of resistance to for a really long time. And so I think that is incredibly important. And I think also, like doing bioenergetic protocols dramatically improve your health, so that you finally have the energy and the mental clarity and the wherewithal to step into your life purpose. And I think for many people, when they're ill, they're depressed, they're mentally just can't get it together, it's very difficult to focus on anything but that. When you don't have your health, when you don't have your mental health, you're just focused on regaining that so that you can get your life back. And so doing something like bioenergetics, for me, was like, I was bulimic for many, many, many years. And within 2 months of doing this Nest Health program, it just disappeared. Whatever underlying root cause of that was just gone. And I don't know what it was, but that got my attention for sure. And so I think that is a tool that people can use to really fulfill their life purpose and step into their life purpose. And that's really where you're going to find happiness and inspiration and drive, if you find your life purpose. It gives your life meaning. And I think also focusing and remembering the whole point of this whole journey is all about love. And making your decisions, things you're going to say to people, things you're going to do with people, how you're going to react, how you show up in the world, it should be coming from a place of love. And I think just focusing on that can keep things in perspective, and really, I think, help people make better decisions in their life with their loved ones and their relationships and their friends and their work, and just their interpersonal relationship with themselves. I think that can really help focus and redirect people to, be more kind to themselves and make better decisions in their lives.
Really wonderful, everything. Really wonderful stuff. Thank you so much for everything. It's much appreciated. Your time, your wisdom, the gifts that you bring here and share with my audience. Many thanks for everything, Wendy. Where
Yes.
can people find out a bit more about you and your beautiful work that you're doing, your programs, if they want to sign up?
Yes. Yeah. We can go to myersdetox.com, and if you look under programs, all of our little programs right there, everything I just talked about. And you can find me, my podcast. I have a top 100 podcast, the Myers Detox podcast. We just did our 500th episode, which I've been doing this for about 10 years. So I can't believe it. And then I'm on all the social media at Myers Detox.
Thank you so much for everything. All the
Yeah. Thanks
best.
for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you.